All right, welcome in. It is episode number 32 featuring myself, Boston Chris. This is Tunesday Tuesday, and we have a phenomenal bluegrass artist with us tonight as our special guest, and that is Mr. Dreyden Gordon. Will be joining us momentarily. You just heard his song All Alone to Cry, and we're going to be chatting with him for a few minutes tonight about his current song and a bunch of other stuff as well. Thank you for the 80-month resub, Unexpected Acorn. Appreciate it. We are live on Twitch and Facebook, so thank you guys for joining us. If you are live, remember, you can request a song if you'd like to hear something specific. Just make sure it's not offensive or hateful in any way, and we will play it. Just type the name of the song and the artist of the song in your chat, and we will get to that momentarily as well. If you are watching on YouTube or Spotify, that means you are watching the replay of this in the future. And if you would like to hear this in its entirety with all the music included, there will be a link in your description below for the episode 32 recap featuring Dreyden Gordon. And without any further ado, guys, we're going to get into it with Mr. Dreyden right now to chat with him about his current single, which is an old bluegrass standard called Sunny Side of the Mountain. Let's get into it with Dreyden. Dreyden, how are you tonight, my friend?
I am wonderful. It's great to be live with you today on the Boston Chris Show. I've been looking forward to this for some time. Glad to be on here and visiting with you, my friend.
Yeah, same, man. Well, this has been so I usually schedule these about 60 days out, just to make sure that we have guests to fill the spot. So yeah, it has been a minute since we've been scheduled. So I appreciate you doing the show tonight, man.
Absolutely tickled pink to be here.
So where are you from, man? I gotta know.
Well, I'm from eastern Kentucky, the hills of Appalachia.
It does not surprise me. From what I'm hearing. And so are you basically based out of Nashville now?
No, I'm still based out of eastern Kentucky. I have a lot of ties to Nashville. I spend a lot of time there. The record label that I'm on, Nashville Entertainment Weekly Records, is based out of Nashville, and I have a lot of affiliates and ties and things down there, but I still call eastern Kentucky home, and proud to do so. It's there's no place like home, And
so you're basically, you're a bluegrass artist, right? Is that how you would self-describe yourself?
Absolutely.
So, that's what the influences are out there in Appalachia, right? So talk about growing up in that area and kind of being introduced to music.
Absolutely. Well, the first time that I was introduced to music, I was probably not even able to walk. Up the road from where I grew up in eastern Kentucky, in the area which I still live, was a little community center, and they had live concerts every Saturday night through the winter and the fall months and the spring. And the family would all go up there, and we'd partake in the bluegrass music, And around the age of 2, I took an interest in dancing, believe it or not. Clogging, which is an Appalachian form of dancing for those listening that maybe aren't exactly familiar. Google it. I'm not going to do any here tonight, but Google it.
Oh, God dang it.
And so that's really where the roots started out. And I danced on stage with several different groups and was even in a dancing group, but got to know a man by the name of Melvin Goins. Melvin was a bluegrass pioneer from West Virginia and eastern Kentucky, and really had been in the business since the very beginning of bluegrass. Melvin worked with the Stanley Brothers, the Lonesome Pine Fiddlers, and then he and his brother had a career, and then he solo had a career. But nonetheless, I got to know him, and around the age of 7, I started singing on stage and singing in Melvin's show, actually.
Wow.
Here and there as we had the opportunity. Like I said, I was 7. I didn't necessarily go full-fledged on the road, but when there were shows happening locally, I had the opportunity to get up there and sing. And about the age of 11, I believe it was, I taught myself to play guitar. And as they say, the rest is history, whether it's good or bad.
So did you ever have to deal with the stage fright? Because I feel like a lot of times when you start young, you don't have to worry about that because you're essentially a natural ham, right?
That's kind of what I feel like. I don't get nervous before a show, but I guess maybe just a little bit on edge. I want to do a good job. And I think just about every performer, no matter how big they get, really still feels that, because you want to be able to connect with that audience. You want to be able to have that connection, and you want them to be able to feel what you're feeling in that moment while you're trying to express it.
Yeah, if you're not dealing with nerves, then you're probably in the wrong business, right? So
Exactly. I mean, I'm not up there shaking in the boots or scared to go on stage. I mean, I can walk out there in front of a big audience and talk to them like I'm sitting here in the living room talking to you right now, you know?
yeah, I'm the same way. Like, no matter what interview it is or what artist it is that I get to chat with, I get a little bit nervous every day, that everything's going to go okay. And I just don't want to make mistakes. You know what I mean? That's basically the brunt of that. One thing I wanted to chat with you about, I didn't actually know where you were from. I kind of guessed it was probably West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, somewhere in there.
Yes, sir.
Uh, uh, so it doesn't surprise me. But like the advent of what I call kind of like country bluegrass, right? The middle road, right down the center of that, like the Sierra Farrell kind of music that is just popping off today. What do you think of that kind of that kind of combination of almost like a genre combination?
Well, it's not the same thing that I do, but I think it's absolutely wonderful. It's drawn so many new listeners into the genre of
Agreed.
bluegrass and into the world of bluegrass that otherwise wouldn't have ever gave it a chance or ever even heard of it. So I think Sierra, Billy Strings, all those guys are doing such a wonderful job at promoting this genre, this bluegrass music.
Yeah, and I think it's becoming more mainstream because of that, right? And like
Absolutely, yeah.
that roots style music.
We're seeing a new generation in the bluegrass business, and not just the business, but I mean in the fans and the audience.
Sure.
Whereas it's predominantly been an older audience. We're really tickled as some of those people are getting a little older, or maybe even dying off. We're tickled to see some new faces, some young faces coming in there. And just being eat up with it, they absolutely love it. The same as that would be if it was country or pop or whatever it is.
And I think that's important in the business side of that. You just made a really good point, right? With not just bluegrass and roots music, but also traditional country, Americana. That's going to be an older audience for the most part. And as they die off, we don't want the genre to die off either. So
Exactly.
it's good to see younger artists like yourself that are doing the music,
Thank
but
you.
also bringing in new young listeners to the music as well.
It all
It's good
comes in
stuff.
waves.
Yeah, I agree. Good point, man. Really, really good point. I hadn't thought of it that way, and it's definitely true. So you guys are bringing in new listeners to all of these genres, and that's cool. So as an Eastern Kentucky boy, what is what's the venues like out there? Like, what are you playing in that area locally?
Well, there are some wonderful places around here. There really are. I don't get the opportunity to work near home all the time. We work a lot of the road dates. I do
Right.
about 14, 15 different states on a regular basis, and anywhere from Texas to Michigan, really, Florida and beyond. So
Yeah.
had the chance to go down and work a few shows in the Bahamas earlier this year,
That's
playing
amazing,
bluegrass
dude.
music. Now that was quite the experience, but
Yeah.
but it was a good time. But there's a lot of the things that I do are I'm still playing the same bluegrass music that I've always played, but I'm doing it to a country audience because I think that there's so much of a connection between that. Of course, we're still doing the bluegrass festivals. We've got some great bluegrass festivals here in Eastern Kentucky. For folks that don't know, that's like a 3, 4, 5 day festival that it's got 6, 7, 8 bands each day. Some of the old timers, some of the newcomers. Just a great blend, a great mix.
And that's a big thing in the bluegrass genre too. Those multi-day festivals that are all over the southeast and Midwest. I guess it's Midwest. I don't know. I guess probably not. What would like Tennessee and Alabama? I don't know. We'll just call it southeast.
Well, we consider ourselves Southern, but that's up for dispute sometimes. Depends on where I go.
Yeah. Have you thought about going out to Europe, because I know bluegrass is huge in Europe?
I've had some interest in it. We don't have anything planned at this time, but I have had some interest. I've been fortunate to make a lot of contacts over in that area, and been able to. I see a lot of people that's streaming the music or even buying physical merchandise
Right.
from me. I'm shipping it. I'm shipping it to Europe, whether it be Germany or Spain or Italy or the UK, different places in there, and I've been fortunate to have a lot of good reaction as far as airplay goes.
Yeah.
Over in those neighborhoods.
It's huge out there, man. It is absolutely huge. Purple Holes have been on my show a few times, and they make a living out there in Europe, man. Holy
Wonderful.
crap. Yeah.
I've heard of them. We've not crossed paths, but I do know who they are.
Yeah, they are amazing. Anyway, so are you writing music as well in the genre? Because I know the new single is kind of an old standard, so I had to ask
Yes.
about the
Well,
songwriting.
I've got a couple of. I believe I've got a newer single than the one that you've got right now,
Okay.
which is one that I wrote
Okay.
recently. I don't know if you've got that one or not, but it's one called "All Alone to Cry."
Okay, so I actually played that one to start off the show. So that was
Okay,
our.
where I was in the waiting room, I couldn't hear what you was
Yeah,
playing
that's
there. But
exactly what we played.
okay, so
Yes. So
that's the new
perfect.
single. That's one that I did write.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Great.
and previous to that, we've got some other things that I have wrote and things I haven't wrote. I love to do a mix of the new and a mix of the old because I still love so much of that old stuff, and that's what I grew up on, and that's what I absolutely just adhere to when it comes to the influences in my music.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of folks, when they listen to the new stuff we're doing, they hear some of the influences of the old, but hopefully they hear a twist of the new in there too.
I was gonna say, are you putting a modern twist on your songwriting? Because
Yeah.
obviously it's such a traditional genre that you want to stay grounded in your roots, but there should be a modern twist to it, right? So how are you keeping things fresh?
Well, we're trying to keep things as relevant as current as possible
Yeah.
with, just enough to stay relevant, I guess. But I think a lot of folks really connect with that traditional side of it, whether it be in the instrumentation or the lyrics or the vocals or whatever. So we're changing just enough of it to still be traditional. I like to tell everybody it's tradition with a twist.
Yeah, I love that. And as an instrumentalist, are you strictly guitar, or what else do you play?
Well, primarily on stage, I play guitar. I can hum haul around on a couple other things, but nothing nobody'd want to hear.
Yeah, yeah, because man, that's the great thing about bluegrass too, is you guys use a lot of different instruments with your music. Like I've heard, obviously strings is predominant in bluegrass, but I've heard the horns in there from time to time. And
Every once in a while,
yeah,
I've got a friend, Gerald McCormick. His family band, the McCormick Brothers, were the first bluegrass band to record with a brass section.
let's go. Yeah, see, like I said, I've heard it, and I love to see. I love to see unique, right? That's really important in
Absolutely.
music. Let's talk a little bit about the songs that we're going to be featuring today. We got one from Dreyden, obviously, but he also picked a song of the week. As you guys know, we do that every single week. And the one that he picked is called Let All the Girls Know You're a Cowboy. And this is by the Cody Norris Show. Tell us why you picked this song, man.
Man, I tell you, I love that group, that band. Every one of them, I'd consider them great friends. They're doing a lot of big things and really cutting a big wave, and just tickled to death for all their success. They've been on the Opry, I don't know how many times, and they're keeping a very full schedule both in the United States and abroad. But I just think that's a really fun song that I picked. It's a song that I believe they got from somebody else, but I think it's a really fun song.
So I blind react the pick of the week every week. So I have
Okay.
not heard the song. I know the Cody Norris Show. I've heard different songs by them, obviously, but have not heard this one. So we will be blind reacting to that. The current song that we're going to be featuring of yours is not the new single, but it is the single prior to that. It's Sunny Side of the Mountain. So
Okay.
why did you choose this for a single? Because it is an old standard.
It is an old song. I wanted people to realize that I wasn't trying to get away from anything too far. That I was still trying to stay true to my roots, and that's just a song that It's been one that I've been singing since I could talk. Just about, just a fun song to sing.
So, if people are just hearing about you for the first time before we get into the music, where can they follow along with everything you got going on, man?
Absolutely, you can find me on all of the social media outlets, Dreyden.official, DREYDEN.official, or Dreyden.official, or excuse me, Dreyden official. Some of them don't let us put the dot in there, so dot or no dot, we're on all the social media websites. If I'm not on it, you don't need to be on it either. Talking about Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, I guess they call it now, TikTok, YouTube, everything and anything in between. You should be able to find us on there, Dreyden.official. Of course, on all the streaming outlets at Dreyden Gordon. Just look for me on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, iTunes, all that good stuff above and beyond, a lot more than what I just mentioned. So be sure and find us. We should be on your favorite streaming platform too.
And if people see your name on a bill somewhere and they want to go in and see you live, what can they expect?
Well, we're going to do our best to treat everybody right and just have a good old down home, traditional, good old time, Eastern Kentucky style and high energy and lots of moving parts, lots of fun. That's what we're going to do. All right. Good family friendly show.
Dreyden, I appreciate you coming on tonight, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little while. Open invite anytime you want to come back. And
thank you so much.
I appreciate you, man. We're going to get into the music, and I'll catch you down the road, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks for playing my music. Thanks for what you do for the music business. Have a good one. God bless.
You have a good one, man. All right, guys. We are going to get into the music momentarily. I just want to remind everybody that's watching on YouTube and Spotify, thank you guys for tuning into the podcast version of this. If you would like to see the entire recap that includes the music that we are about to play live, you can click the link in the description below for the entire episode 32 recap. If you are watching this in our subscriber hub, thank you so much. You're getting to see this mad early. I appreciate you guys for supporting the channel.